Steve, real quick, and this
Yeah.
is super fast. I didn't hit record on the last show.
Oh my gosh.
So this is what we're going to do. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Stand Up Fantasy, your premier choice in daily sports betting fantasy football. I am your host, Alex Dominguez. With me, like always, Steve Joseffson, and our very special guest today, returning guest, a show favorite, Mr. Rick. He's never hung.
No, it's in Hong we trust.
And hung, I like to say he's never hung. For a lot of people tuning in now for the show, we had kind of done a whole entire show like an hour ago, but stupid me forgot to hit record. Quick recap: we all love Tua. None of us like Alshon Jeffries, except for Rick. And Steve gives terrible advice with Trey Burton as your tight end. Don't ever pick him or follow Steve's advice. So, because
what's the point of the show then? What's the point of the show?
But we like
to make
like
people
Michael,
laugh.
We like Michael Thomas because they used him sparingly last week. He's at the Superdome this game, and it's his first really probably 110% healthy game, so he's going to go off.
And he didn't punch anybody this week.
All right, so today we're going to give it a bridged version of the show. We're not going to actually kind of run through. So everyone, I assume, I have your lineups set up already. We can just go, each one of us can go through the lineup, give us a couple of quick details on why you like your lineup and your players, and we'll do it that way. So Rick, what do you got?
I don't really have. I'll just give you a lineup. I like Tua. I like Antonio Gibson. Who is it? I like Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
I like Alshon. I like Michael Thomas, and I like Brandon Ayuk, wide receivers. Tight end, I'm still gonna go there. Gronk.
Ooh.
Kicker, you'll like this, Alex. If you want to talk about doubling up, kicker. Do we have kickers? We don't have kickers.
No, we don't have
No, we
kickers.
don't.
Forget about kickers.
Defense. Saints defense against Nick Mullins and at the Superdome. I mean, come on, he's bound to choke and do something wrong.
Yeah.
As much as I do like Brandon Ayuk to pull it off, so that's kind of my.
Give us a flex player too. Give us a flex player
flex?
too. Yeah.
Who is my flex? I'm doubling down. Steve hates this, but Antonio Brown.
I mean, we got Alshon Jeffrey and Antonio Brown. Alshon coming back, hasn't played a snap this entire year, and Antonio Brown. I mean, they've come out and said
if you don't like Antonio Brown, which is fine. I would say watch and see how Jerry Jeudy is health-wise, and if he's not solid, then I would say Tim Patrick.
I like Tim Patrick too. He's questionable also this week.
No. They upgraded him.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay, I haven't seen that yet.
Him. So it doesn't mean that he's 100% healthy, but they upgraded him. Jerry Jeudy is still questionable. And that's why I'm saying you kind of have to watch Jerry Jeudy and see whatever. But Tim Patrick's been the guy for a long time up until it also shows that kind of their system looks a little bit like the Cowboys, where it's Jeudy, Patrick, and Hamler, and Noah Fant hasn't been healthy. So if Noah Fant was healthy, yeah, with Drew Lock. So that's why I say Tim Patrick's a pretty overall of those three guys. Tim Patrick's kind of been the steady. If you want steady points value, Tim Patrick's the guy I like. But if Jerry Jeudy is 100%, then there's a little bit of a downgrade there. If you don't like Antonio Brown. Well,
hey man, in Hong we trust. This you heard it here first. Alshon Jeffrey and Antonio Brown. Let's do it. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you, that could be a GPP winning lineup. I mean, one of these big crazy contests. Maybe that combination will win $1 million this week. Who knows? We'll see.
All right, Steve. So who do you got this week?
This week I said my favorite quarterback, I think, hands down, which has my highest projection, is Kyler Murray against Buffalo. I think that could be a shootout. Two young quarterbacks going at it with each other. I love that. Then next with running backs, I got Aaron Jones against Jacksonville, worst D in the league at home. Wins there in Lambeau, so that could be a factor. Then I got Mike Davis, Min Price. Christian McCaffrey is out this week. We're going to see if Mike Davis has a resurgence. Rick hates him because the last 2 weeks he's had single digits in fantasy points. So we'll see what happens. Actually, last 3 weeks.
He crashed back down to earth. But but Steve brought up a point when we were talking about it that it could have been game script. So this will be the final chapter. This will be the nail in the coffin, literally.
They're gonna have to establish the run against Tampa Bay, and they're at home also. Wide receiver, I got Hopkins going back to that combination with Murray. I'm running it back to the other side with Stephon Diggs. Hopkins, I think we've established the last 4 weeks is the every other week he has a good game. So this week he should have a good game.
Struggled against Miami. He should have a good game this week against Buffalo. He struggled
against Miami. There you go. And then for value, speaking of Miami, I got Jakeem Grant.
Which I think it's a great pick.
I like it.
If Rick likes it, Alec likes it, we're good.
It's
a agreement on that.
It's the lock of the week.
The lock of the week. Ooh, that could be a good segment for us. Lock of the week. Then I didn't get to tight end. Tight end, where I'm just going dumpster diving with Logan Thomas against Detroit. I mean,
I'm really I'm 50-50 on that guy only because this is now Alex Smith is starting. Now he's starting, and he's in they've got a decent projection for Logan Thomas, but yeah, that guy's really, really, really streaky. I'm hoping that because Alex Smith is now the full-time quarterback, that means something good for Logan Thomas. Even though I don't have any Logan Thomas stakes anywhere, so I don't hate it, Steve. But there's a lot of oh man, you're putting a lot of trust that change in quarterback is going to do something for him.
Just a price play. Yeah. He's 3,300.
Right. For bargain, I don't mind it.
Yeah,
hey, Steve, you should go with Trey Burton.
He played last night. Thank you very much.
And
he played last night. So,
how did he do?
He did not do well.
I thought so.
But he, I'm going to look at the tape on that one, man. I want to know the options.
Alex, let's remember this one that you said Logan Thomas, because Steve here also yesterday said Ferkser. Ferkser didn't do anything either. So that's two tight ends that he was terrible about. Of all the tight ends that were Jonnu Smith was available, Mo Alley Cox was available. So
but again, these are price plays.
Plays.
And in all fairness to Steve, I have
live in a world of the salary cap.
In all fairness to Steve, I have Higbee and Burton in my fantasy, and I looked it up online on who should you start. 92% of the experts said Burton.
Yeah. It wasn't a wrong play, but
which only goes to prove that Steve doesn't know shit.
It's unfortunate that Trey Burton keeps going off of the Philly special. He was known for one thing. He's like David Tyree. David Tyree that caught that ball that the Giants won. That's all he's Trey Burton. That's all he's ever going to be known for is being the Philly special guy.
I could go up to Jordan Reed also with this particular lineup, but
now dude, that's what you want. That's what you want more than
Jordan Reed.
I like Jordan Reed.
All right, maybe I'll do that at least for this specific lineup. The Logan Thomas, they're playing against Detroit. Granted, Detroit's good against tight end, but he's had, more than one solid game, and I'm hoping to just get 10 points out of him for this price point. But what I want to do, since we were talking about this, and Rick sold me on Antonio Gibson for this week, who I like as well. I might switch out Aaron Jones for Antonio Gibson and then see if I can move up to Darren Waller, who actually is my favorite tight end for this week. He's just so expensive at $5,900 on DraftKings.
Who are they playing?
They're playing Denver. They're playing Denver. In Vegas.
In Vegas, okay.
Yeah, in the Dome. So there's that. But let's be honest, Darren Waller's the number one wide receiver on the Raiders.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, right.
Wide receiver. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to play around with that after the show and see how it goes. And then flex. But see, here's the other thing. I could easily manipulate this because in my flex, I have a 7,100 Keenan Allen against Miami.
Really? Keenan Allen?
Keenan's been solid against everybody. Now that
he's been hot.
Upgrade with Herbert. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Herbert's
can't
he's like Herbert's crutch. He's like Devontae with Aaron Rodgers.
With Rodgers.
You got two shutdown cornerbacks in Miami.
That's the other thing. Xavier Rhodes and who's the other guy you got over there?
Howard and
Xavier Howard.
And
Yeah, you know what? You know what's going to happen is I don't like Keenan Allen because you know what's going to happen is those shutdown corners are going to be there, and although Herbert can make the plays, he likes to throw the ball around. So like
That's the other thing too. Yeah, exactly. What he
don't
just
do Keenan
said.
Allen. If you got shutdown corners, don't do Keenan Allen only because I can see some that Herbert would throw it around to some other guys because he's got the skill to get those guys the ball like right in a good place.
The problem is I don't really have a good take on too many just yet. Maybe I need to do some more research, but I just, it's like in that price range, you have a lot. I mean, you could go up to Cooper Kupp, actually go down to Cooper Kupp. He's questionable. And then you got who else?
Steve, how about Josh Reynolds?
I don't know about that, man. I mean, maybe, because again, that game, I like that. I'm going to write that down and revisit that for later, but that game is
Josh Reynolds is no Brandon Cooks, but just because
he's cheap.
If you're saying
really
Cooper Kupp's a little down and that they'll probably cover Robert Woods, I can see a sneaky play going to a Josh Reynolds, like running down the field.
That is a very sneaky play. That is a very sneaky play. But I think you're right about that, Rick. Yeah, and that's a price play too.
And for flex, not a terrible play.
Well, no, what I would do is I'd take Jakeem Grant out, put in Reynolds.
I like Jakeem Grant though.
Put Waller in as my tight end. Now I got 4,200 for flex. And then we go down here, bargain hunting. You got Renfro, but I already got, I'm not going to do that. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Rieger. I like this one.
I like it. See, if you don't like Alshon, dude, you got to like Jalen Rieger.
I like Rieger. Yeah, I do. I like Rieger. I like Fulgham. Regardless.
By the way, Steve, when you just said that, you just reminded me of that movie Moneyball. When
I was just watching that last night.
What's the fat guy's name?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill's like
terrible. What's that?
Renfro.
He's not fat anymore.
He's not fat anymore.
No, he's fat again.
Is he?
All the way back. Yeah. He got skinny for like a week.
Damn it! Now I really love this lineup. Wow. You got 2% Josh Reynolds projected ownership, and then you got a 4.8% Rieger. I gotta have to look at the wide receiver matchups.
Well, okay.
Wide receiver versus
defense?
cornerback. Defense. Oh man, I went dumpster diving again. But this is also a conditional play too. I'm going Bengals against backup quarterback, possibly backup quarterback. What's his name in Pittsburgh?
Mason Rudolph. No, dude, Big Ben's
Mason
gonna play,
Rudolph.
dude.
What?
Big Ben's gonna play. I wouldn't.
He's got to test negative twice, right? Doesn't he got the COVID?
Big Ben's gonna. No. He was near Vance McDonald, but it doesn't mean that he got it. And I don't think they've ever once said that he's got it. But he's like Stafford. Isn't
he hurt though too? Oh, so Stafford, yeah. Isn't he hurt though too?
He got a little banged up. But
he's on the list. He's on the COVID-19 list.
That's like division rivalry. I do not see if unless he tests positive, which I really don't think that he will. I do not see Ben not playing against them. And usually he plays really well against the Steelers.
And at home too, at the Bengals, and at home.
Oh, dude, forget about it, man. I wouldn't.
But he hasn't practiced all week. Didn't we see that with Stafford?
He's Roethlisberger.
Yeah, he doesn't need to practice.
Rapelessberger.
Hey, get away. Sorry, not you, the cat.
Well, because I might read this lineup. I actually really like, and I have the Bengals at 0.7% ownership. But again, it's like they made pricing really, really hard this week, which is good. But you've got, who else are you going to take down here? That's $2,100. Are you going to take the Rams against Seattle? Roll the dice, and that's even $100 more on DraftKings. So we'll see. But they are my favorite bargain basement. And defense doesn't matter, right? Defense doesn't matter, period. Isn't that a thing? People say defense doesn't matter. Anyway, that's what I got. Recap my lineup real quick. Kyler Murray, quarterback. Aaron Jones, running. Oh, actually, you know what? If I take out Aaron Jones, put in Gibson, then I could upgrade my my defense against who do we say was our favorite? I could do the Eagles against the Giants, which I like. Tampa,
Yep,
Carolina.
Eagles,
Or
yeah,
Saints
Eagles
against
Giants is a good.
Saints against
that's a
my
good play.
Niners. Yeah, I'll just do that. Eagles Giants. Saints against my Niners. I'll probably end up going with and maybe upgrading somewhere else. But yeah, run down this lineup: Kyler Murray, Antonio Gibson, Mike Davis, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, Josh Reynolds, Darren Waller, Jalen Reagor, and Eagles D. There we go. You go Miles Sanders and do that correlation too with Eagles D. How much is he?
He's still kind of banged up a little bit. I think Wentz throws more because like he wants to see how everybody's available to him.
Okay. There we go. Alex, what you got?
All right, well, I'm going to do a little stacking with my quarterback and my main man, Tua. I'm going to start Tua this week. I'm telling you, from the first game to the second game, it was amazing. I think they're going to open up the offense a little bit more. He looks a little more comfortable back there, and the kid's got an arm and he's got legs.
You got an arm, kid.
For the value, and he's only 5,600. So I'm going to start off with a value quarterback. I'm going to stack him. We'll talk about it later with Devontae Parker. For my running backs, I think he's coming back. Nick Chubb. His brace is off.
He'll play. He's good for a touchdown somewhere.
And I like Antonio Gibson against a crappy Detroit defense, run defense. Moving into wide receiver, like I said, Devontae Parker. I'm going to stack him with Tua.
Tagovailoa.
Tagabaga.
Then I got some money to spend. I'm going to go with Devontae Adams against Jacksonville, at home against Jacksonville. So I think that's my lock of the week. Or my locket of the week, I'm going with Tyler Lockett, going to Los Angeles, playing against a Rams defense that struggled against first-time starter in Tua. For tight end, now I'm kind of in the money, kind of scrounging for money. So my tight end is Eric Ebron against Cincinnati.
Not a bad play.
I think it's at home against Cincinnati. So I think with Ben Roethlisberger, I think Eric might have it. My flex, again, money, I was going with Evan Ingram of the Giants against Philadelphia at home. Yes. And my defense, I hate this one, but it's Arizona versus at home versus Buffalo.
Wow. Arizona, huh? Let's see.
Dude, you're putting a lot of faith in Arizona. Well, they're at home, though. So, yeah. Josh Allen's got the capability of throwing like a pick or something.
I mean, he has, right? Hasn't he done that every other week or something?
For the money value at $2,600, they have the most amount of average points, which is at 6.4. And like Steve said, defense doesn't matter, does it? Or does it win championship? Yeah. It wins championship.
It wins championships, but for fantasy purposes, I don't know.
The only other team that averages more points at that value range would have been the Rams, but they're going up against Seattle, so I don't see that happening.
I mean, here's the thing with Josh Allen and the Cardinals defense. You have his worst game of the season came against New England. I mean, granted, he had a 16-point game, a 13-point game. Well, 13-point game against New England where he did not throw any touchdowns, but did throw one interception. So if you think that that Arizona D can keep them down, sure. But the idea is, again, your defense is basically just there to support the rest of your team. So if the rest of your team goes bananas, you're going to have a solid week, whether or not your defense scores, 10 points or 1. Right. What was it a few weeks ago?
It's all the money I had.
Yeah. I mean, Miami D, right? Miami D went bananas. Speaking of which.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. This is the end of the show. Rick Hong, thank you guys for coming up again. I know it's going to be a quick show, and hopefully next week we'll give you a little bit more insight. As your host for Stand Up Fantasy, I'm Alex Dominguez, Steve Joseffson, and Rick Hong. See you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Good luck to you all.